Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Beyond the Curve. We got some great videos today. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get it.
There was that ant that stood up to me.
Yeah, but we can forget about him.
Yeah, it was just one ant. One ant.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
Well, how about this?
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay?
We're the ants, people.
The government is scared of you, and it's scared that one day you are going to discover your true power. That's why this system that we live in tries its best to stop you from understanding who you truly are. That's why you get a birth certificate, you need a passport, you need a driver's license, you need all these pieces of paper that tell you who you are. But the day that you realize that you are an all-powerful creative being that does not need to be ruled over, is the day that the government falls. It's the day that this system falls. But here's the thing. In order for that to happen, we need a self-sufficient world. We need self-sufficient people. Now, self-sufficiency isn't just about getting a piece of land and some chickens and eating eggs and planting your own veg. Self-sufficiency is a way of being. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of feeling, and it's a way of acting. Self-sufficiency starts in the mind. Unless you're capable of regulating yourself, until you're capable of regulating your thoughts, until you're capable of regulating your feelings, and until you're capable of regulating your actions more than anything towards other people, you can't be self-sufficient. And this is what this whole system wants you to believe, that you cannot do these things for yourself, that you need this system. It's a narcissistic, parasitic system that keeps you in subservience, because the day you realize how powerful you are is the day the system fails. And all those rich people, those elite at the top, need you subservient. It's time to break free.
Start controlling your own thoughts and actions and feelings and emotions.
Thing first, back in middle school when they taught us it was 3 branches of the government. We forgot it when we got older. It's the judicial, the legislative, and executive. But all we know is the executive. That's the mayor or the governor and the president. Now none of them 3 people make no laws. They just be checking them. The laws come to their desk and all they do is say no or yes to it. So when the news station tried to tell us that Barack Obama couldn't put us on, we was all salty at Obama when it was the Congress members all along. We gotta focus on the legislative branch. Yeah, they the ones that make the laws. Yeah, they the ones write how much food stamp money you get on the card. But when people that wanted to help us wanted the job, I know they probably lost. Cause we ain't even know their name, we ain't know their face, we ain't know it all. So the Congress or the State House, that's legislative, they make laws. So what we want from the president is what they do. Okay, y'all? See, they election every 2 years, but we don't never even go to those. The Congress, they can raise minimum wage, but we ain't even really know it though. So you know how back in 08, when we all voted for Obama, we was all supposed to go back in 2010 and vote for the Congress. Thing first, back in middle school when they taught us it was 3.
Proof we are all being played.
I get up at 4:45 in the morning and I don't see a sign of the government anywhere. Every single day for 8.5 hours, I exchange my time for labor. I don't see the government anywhere, except for on Thursdays. Thursdays, I get my paycheck. That's when the government shows up. That's when they feel they are entitled to split half of the currency I made for trading my time, my skills, my labor. This goes on throughout the year, where I'm responsible to keep records of all of this. At the end of the year, it's my responsibility to prepare all that documentation for them to review it. They then determine if their cut was large enough. If I don't meet their schedule, I face fines, fees, or the threat of being locked up in one of their cells. I guess some people call this taxation, but it doesn't meet my definition. To me, that sounds a lot more like fraud, embezzlement, and fucking slavery. I think it's long past due that we all stop participating in this.
Venezuela has deployed military near the Guyana border over oil drilling and escalating tensions. The tank deployment signals readiness for conflict despite prior diplomatic assurances and contradicts a recent de-escalation agreement. Like and follow us for more daily headlines. Venezuela has deployed military near the Guyana border.
China's building an entire army of military robot dogs, and I wouldn't suggest that you try to pet these things. They're similar to the ones built by Boston Dynamics, but with some key differences. And as you might expect for something made in China, they're cheaper and thus easier to mass produce. Whereas past models tested by the US military were rather slow and sluggish, these Chinese robot dogs are sleek and quick, able to keep pace with an average speed runner. And they've got some tricks up their sleeve as well. They can also maneuver objects with an extendable arm that can be controlled autonomously or remotely. And as they say, everybody gangster till the Chinese robot dog pulls out a lightsaber.
On the main highway, as you can see, people leaving southern Lebanon. There is a mass exodus. You look to your right, you look to your left, smoke. These are Israeli airstrikes.
'Israel has launched a barrage of airstrikes across Lebanon, and they've killed more than 490 people and hurt more than 1,000 others. This was the deadliest day of conflict in Lebanon since 2006.
Fearing an outbreak of a larger regional conflict, the Pentagon says it will send additional U.S. troops to the Middle East. Israel says its warplanes struck 1,300 Hezbollah targets, attacking what it says are caches of weapons, including rockets and drones. The IDF claims the weapons are inside residential buildings embedded among civilians. Lebanon's health ministry says 90 women and children were among those killed.
Say Israeli.
One-third of the population will perish because of World War III nuclear warheads. The other two-thirds that will remain, they would wish they never were born. The whole land will melt, and the people with it. It'll be the most disastrous times ever for humanity to go through. After World War III, not everybody's gonna die. Not everybody's gonna die. But nuclear weapons will be used. They did not make him to put him in museums or to take a selfie next to a rocket. Those nuclear warheads have been created to be used. Who's stopping it? Jesus Christ. The moment Jesus Christ of Nazareth says, "It is my time," believe you me, every superpower nation will press the button. They will send rockets at each other. China to America, America to China, Japan to North Korea, Korea, you will see rockets flying in the air.
Fox News alert now, the former commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian army making the grim declaration World War III has officially begun as the country faces pressure from North Korea and Iran. Now Russia retaliating with new ballistic missiles after Biden gave Ukraine the green light to fire long-range attack missiles into Russia, and the UK gave.
Breaking news. Trump just gave Putin a 2-week deadline to prove he's serious about ending the war in Ukraine. Not next year, not someday, 2 weeks or else. According to U.S. officials, the two leaders had a 2-hour phone call. Trump demanded proof. Troop withdrawals, ceasefire talks, real action. But what did Russia do instead? They launched new assaults in eastern Ukraine, seizing multiple villages overnight. Artillery fire intensified, airstrikes returned to major cities. To Ukraine, it looked like a peace talks used as cover for new offensives. And now Trump is furious. He's warning of serious consequences if Putin continues to play games, sanctions, NATO troop reinforcements, total diplomatic freeze. But behind closed doors, there's talk of something even more extreme. Trump might push for a total arms cutoff to Russia's trade partners. Even China's being watched closely. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces are bracing for the worst. Civilians are evacuating key cities. International pressure is skyrocketing. And the world is asking, is Putin bluffing? Or is this the calm before a much larger storm? What do you think? Is Trump's ultimatum real leverage or too little?
Well, now to some breaking news. CBS News has learned that U.S. intelligence believes Iran is preparing a major attack in retaliation for Monday's airstrike by Israel on the Iranian consulate in Damascus. Now, the U.S. has warned Iran in writing not to attack U.S. personnel and facilities. CBS's David Martin is at the Pentagon with these new developments.
Iran's supreme leader held funeral prayers for the Revolutionary Guards killed by an Israeli airstrike, as both the U.S. and Israel braced for a retaliatory attack. U.S. officials tell CBS News Iran is making preparations to launch a swarm of drones and missiles timed around the upcoming end of Ramadan. The target is still unknown, but Israel is reinforcing its air defenses. The ways of retaliating can come from anywhere, including Iran, Israel's defense minister said, and we are preparing to face this matter.
I think Iran. World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America Last globalists and the deep state, the Pentagon, the State Department, and the national security industrial complex. One of the reasons I was the only president in generations who didn't start a war is that I was the only president who rejected the catastrophic advice of many of Washington's generals, bureaucrats, and the so-called diplomats who only know how to get us into conflict, but they don't know how to get us out.
The place to offer amnesty to your wayward vassal.
The Soviet Union. I thought you guys broke up.
Yes, that's what we wanted you to think.
Must crush capitalism.
World War III breaking news update. I got to make this quick. Oh boy, I told you guys 2 days ago that they were getting ready to nuke Iran. In fact, I think I even used something like this that you're seeing behind me here in the thumbnail, and I can't believe they're actually going to do it. I'm still in disbelief because here we are. They're getting ready to pull the trigger. Your world is about to change. Now, we have confirmation that a half dozen, possibly 7 of the 20 B-2 stealth bomber fleet is being forward deployed. I repeat, a half dozen stealth bombers being forward deployed to Diego Garcia Air Base, which is south of the Maldives in the Indian Ocean. This is one of 2 very critical U.S. air bases in the Indo-Pacific. And that, of course, is going to put Yemen and Iran in striking distance. Now,
the president had a very firm message for Iran. Listen.
There's no way the Houthis, the Houthis would have the ability to do this kind of thing unless they had support from Iran. And so this was a message to Iran. Don't keep supporting them, because then you will also be responsible for what they are doing in attacking Navy ships and attacking global shipping.
Deteriorating between China and the United States, with Beijing declaring it's prepared to go to war with America. The alarming words reflect China's fury over Donald Trump's trade tariffs and coincides with a dramatic boost to its defense spending.
The threat we now face is more serious, more immediate, and more unpredictable than at any time since the Cold War.
A new era of threats demands a new era of security. That's the PM's message today, ahead of a wide-ranging defence review.
In the world of today, the front line, if you like, is here. We face war in Europe, new nuclear risks, daily cyber attacks, growing Russian aggression in our waters, menacing our skies. Their reckless actions driving up the cost of living here at home.
The PM said he would adopt a NATO-first approach that would also boost jobs at home.
First, we are moving to warfighting readiness as the central purpose of our armed forces. Second, everything we do will add to the strength of NATO. Third, we will innovate and accelerate innovation.
The review will outline plans to build up to 12 nuclear-powered submarines. £1.5 billion will be spent on at least 6 munitions and energetics factories, which the government says will create more than 1,000 jobs. The UK will also procure up to 7,000 long-range missiles and rockets. Meanwhile, more than £1.5 billion will be used to upgrade.
Wars and threats of wars everywhere.
So Canada is preparing for another American Civil War, with a new report from the government titled Disruptions on the Horizon proposing a second American Civil War as a scenario worth worrying about, with a document sketching out the scenario in just 15 words. U.S. ideological divisions, democratic erosion, and domestic unrest escalate, plunging the country into civil war. Though notably, they consider the war to be an improbable but an ultra-high impact event. Also, other scenarios in that category are homemade biological weapons, antibiotic-resistant pathogens, food shortages, and World War III. And with this, one expert saying the idea of a civil war kind of depends on your definition because the Confederacy strategy is pretty obsolete today. And I mean, it wasn't all that great then either, given that they lost bigly. They also say it could take form of the Troubles or of Quebec separatism, which is small-scale, essentially terroristic actions. But of course, this is all hypothetical and, of course, by the Canadians. Things have been incredibly bad before, and we kept it together. And I'm sure in 10 years, we're all going to look back at this report and laugh, right?
The next disaster is coming. The time to get ready is now. Make a plan. Identify meetup locations and people you'll need to contact. Put your contact list in your wallet, on your phone, and somewhere visible in your home. Build a kit. Store enough food and water for 3 days. Don't forget your pets. And consider buying a pre-made kit. Keep at least 7 days of medication on hand. Work with your pharmacist and insurance company to secure the extra doses. Make copies of important documents. Keep them on your phone, in the cloud, or on a USB stick. Stay informed. Learn about local hazards. Take courses in CPR and first aid. And sign up for local alert systems. An early warning can give you the time you need to prepare for a fast-moving disaster. Be ready. Learn more at AmeriCare's.
The real truth you better wake up and find out has been around you all of your life. You just didn't see it. Example, Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John Kennedy was elected to Congress 1946. Abe Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John Kennedy was elected president 1960. The names Lincoln and Kennedy both contain 7 letters. Both presidents were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both of the presidents' wives lost children while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday in the head. President Lincoln's secretary was named Miss Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Miss Lincoln. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy in 1939. Both assassins were known by 3 names: John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald. Both names are comprised of 15 letters. President Lincoln was shot in a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car named Lincoln, made by Ford. John Wilkes Booth ran to a theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Booth and Oswald were both assassinated before they could go to trial. And a week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe.
The truth is,
all the world is a stage. It's all scripted, planned to keep control of you.
During the Vietnam War, the U.S. military launched a secret weather modification program called Operation Popeye. The goal? To extend the monsoon season and disrupt enemy supply routes along the Ho Chi Minh Trail by creating heavy rainfall. Using planes to disperse silver iodide into clouds, they succeeded in increasing rainfall by up to 30%. Despite its effectiveness, the operation remained classified for years and sparked controversy when revealed, raising questions about the ethics of weather manipulation. The project ended in 1972, and while the U.S. officially denies ongoing weather modification, it left behind a legacy of conspiracy theories and distrust. Follow for more.
Is all the crazy weather we're seeing natural?
This is your reminder that there are secret underground cities all around you.
Do you remember this TikToker who suddenly died after claiming that he discovered a giant on top of a hill? Just months after his mysterious death, another man went viral for claiming that he saw a giant entering a massive secret door in the mountain. Right up there. That thing was open. It opened completely.
Secret doors
and then
all
it closed
over,
back
y'all.
up. He described it just like the recent video of an alleged giant sighting. The difference is that the giant door has a peephole in it. And there's a little slot in it right up there. You can see that little slot where it looked like somebody was staring out of. Dude, giants are freaking real. I don't care what anybody says. This video instantly went super viral. Immediately, fans requested that he go back and investigate further, and he immediately did. We're going to get up there. We're going to get what we need to get done. He also noticed suspicious marks on the way to the alleged giant door. The spot in the mountain right here, as it goes up, that's really worn different from the rest of the hillside. It looks like drag marks, like something's dragging something up there, like continuously dragging something, like pulling something up the hillside. But his next video started to scare his fans. He realized that he's being followed just like Andrew Dawson. We just been staying kind of low key. When I wake up in the morning and I'm going, this is what I run into. It's down the road. And then sometimes it's up the other side of the road. And sometimes it just follows me around town. And there's a white truck that does the same thing. He's not faking it because he even caught these white trucks on camera.
As of today, you don't need to worry about registering for the military draft. No. The government is going to do that for you automatically. Today, the House passed a law that allows the Selective Service, which is the government agency that runs the military draft for 18 to 26-year-olds, to dig into federal computer databases, find your name, and draft you if needed. But don't worry, ladies, this can't happen to you under the United States Supreme Court case Rosker versus Goldberg. My main question is, why would Congress need to pass such a law right now? Why would we need an army full of draftees? We're not even at war. Right?
The Mexican government has announced a historic change. From now on, U.S. citizens will need a visa to enter Mexico. The measure signed by President Claudia ends the privileged treatment that the Americans had crossing the border. For decades, the United States imposed pressure on Mexicans, demanding interviews, visas, and making it difficult to enter the country. While the Americans were circulating freely in Mexico, only with a passport. Now the Mexican government has decided to act with reciprocity. Mexico respects itself, stated a government. The requirement is already in effect, surprising many tourists. Those who wish to visit destinations such as Cancun, Tulum, or Mexico City must apply for a visa and await approval. Experts claim that this decision marks a new chapter in diplomatic relations between countries. U.S. authority.
Is this all to keep us in? Is that what the wall was for, to keep us in? Is that why planes keep dropping out of the sky? So people don't want to fly, and pretty soon the only people flying will be the rich and the elite and the governments of the world. Is that why they're building 15-minute cities? Because pretty soon there'll be no need to drive. Is this all control? I don't know. For entertainment purposes only.
The way things are supposed to work is the government should know virtually nothing about us because we're private citizens. We're supposed to know everything about the government because they're public servants. But everything is backward right now. And also look at the media. The media is supposed to be giving us the facts, and we should be formulating our opinions based on that information. Instead, the media gives us their opinions, and we're supposed to decipher whether that's a fact or not.
You think we're going to find out that it was much more money than that for
Yes.
transgender animal testing?
Yes.
Can you describe what exactly the American people's taxpayer dollars were spent on regarding transgender animal testing?
Yeah. In a lot of these cases, they're involve mice, rats, monkeys who are being surgically mutilated and subjected to hormone therapies to mimic female to male or male to female gender transitions, gender affirming hormone therapies, and then looking at the biological, psychological, and physiological effects of the gender transitions, looking at the effects of taking vaccines after you've transition these animals from male to female or female to male, looking at the size of their genitals changing after you've put them on estrogen or testosterone therapies to transition them. And in the case that the chairwoman, the example the chairwoman gave, there was a $1.1 million grant to give female lab rats testosterone to mimic transgender male humans and then overdose them with this party drug to see if animals who were taking female animals taking testosterone were more likely to overdose on the sex party drug than animals who were not taking testosterone.
In a shocking turn of events, the U.S. military is now preparing for a nightmare scenario: war on American territory. On May 18, Pentagon leaders sounded the alarm missile defense systems are being ramped up not just in Guam or Hawaii, but potentially across the entire continental United States. Runways across the Pacific are being rapidly fortified. Cyber defenses are on high alert, and war planners now face the unthinkable: a direct assault on U.S. cities if tensions with China over Taiwan spiral out of control. Top generals are warning of long-range missile barrages, crippling cyber attacks, and precision strikes on power plants, ports, and critical infrastructure. One senior official issued a chilling statement: "The next war may not be fought overseas. We are preparing for an America that could be the front line." This marks the most dramatic military shift since the Cold War. For the first time, official U.S. strategy papers declare the homeland a battlefield in the making. If war breaks out, it won't just dominate headlines. It could hit your city, your lights, your internet, your life. Is America truly ready for a war at home? Sound off in the comments. The world is watching.
In the 1970s, they said there will be another ice age in 10 years. In the 1980s, they said acid rain will destroy all crops in 10 years. In the 1990s, they said the ozone layer will be gone in 10 years. In the 2000s, ice caps will be gone in 10 years. None happened, but all resulted in more taxes. Once you understand they are not journalists and media professionals, but rather actors and operatives, things will make more sense. Are you awake yet?
Well, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the videos. It's a lot of government lies and media manipulation out there. Almost nothing is true. The world's a stage. Everything is scripted. You never know what to believe. There's all kinds of lies of war. Maybe there is war, who knows? But we know it only helps the elites. It's not for us. And then there's all the weather modification, and you don't know if it's Mother Nature or if it's the government that's taking everybody down. So stay vigil. Don't believe everything you see. And please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.